Morning everyone, Carol here at Oak House Journals. Hello, hello, and a big warm welcome from me as always. I thought I'd share with you a couple more tags. In my last video I said that I was going to have a little play with white on white, which I absolutely adore. It's one of my favourite colourways. Colourways? Absence of colour? I don't know. But anyway, it's something that I really enjoy doing. So here are a couple of tags that I've made. And this is the first one. So for the background, I just used some lightweight cardstock from my stash, and it's got, if you can see, it's got a slight iridescent sheen to it. So I used 2 layers of this. This is about, I would say, 200 gram cardstock. So I used 2 pieces together. The top piece I ran through my embossing folder, and this is the embossing folder that I used. Now I have no idea, there's no name on it as to where I got this from, so but it's like random dots, as you can see. So I ran it through that, my first or top tag piece, and then what I did was I created this piece at the bottom. So I layered up another piece of cardstock here behind the vellum that was just plain, not embossed. Then I embossed a piece, sorry, I didn't emboss, I stamped a piece of vellum with the word joy, and then covered it all over with glitter. Now to do that, you probably know this, but I will tell you because I know we've got 1 or 2 newbies. First of all, I stamped my stamp, which was from this visible image stamp set here, and that is the barcode. I don't think there's, no. But anyway, actually on Visible Image they've got their Black Friday sale on at the moment, so if you love this, nip over there, it might be available. So I stamped the word joy on my piece of vellum with Versamark ink, and then I used this product which is called Stamp and Bond. Now I've had this in my stash for ages, but you can get it. It's a stupendous product. There we go, Stamp and Bond. And then what you do is, once you've this is adhered to the Versamark stamp, you heat it with a heat gun, and then quickly before it dries you scatter over either flock or glitter. And I used this Art Deco Glamour Dust because it's very, very fine. I quite like using it on Christmas cards, and that gives you the word joy there. I think you can probably just pick it up in this lovely iridescence. Then to create my foliage, I used the Alterations die by Sizzix, and this is the one, and it's called Holiday Greens. And if I turn it over, yeah, there's the number on the back there for you if you want that. But again, as always, everything will be, oh, it's up there as well. All the details are in the description box down below. So I cut a couple of pieces of this and a couple of pieces of the holly in my white cardstock again, just layered it up. Then I used a little piece of lace to create this little flower ruff here, and basically it was just a piece of not expensive lace at all. This is just white nylon lace, but I wanted to use this because of the delicate finish on it, but also because it is absolutely white. All whites are not exactly the same, as you probably know, and all you do with that is just run a running thread along a section about that long. Run a running thread with a needle and cotton all the way along the bottom, and then you just gather it up and it forms a nice little circle. So that's all I did to create that little flower down there. And then I used, let me just get it, some of this, which is again some of the Avril Art twine that you've heard me use in previous videos, and I use some of this to wrap round my flower, and then just a little half pearl in the middle. Really, really simple. And then again, using some of the Avril Art twine, I tied a bow at the top. And then these are just a couple of dangles that I made using plain faceted glass beads. And I got these from BB Crafts. So that is my first tag. On the back, it's just very, oops, bit of dirt on there. Naughty. So the back's just plain, and because I stitched round my embossed front piece and then glued it to my back piece, there is no stitching on the back, but there is stitching on the front there. So that's my first tag. Oh, and a little trim of lace, and you will have seen this lace. I used it on the Snowy Christmas Garden Christmas journal that I made recently. So that's my first one. This is my second tag. And again, you can see that I've done the same thing. I've used the same embossing folder. I've stitched the front, but not on the back. And I just made my own little eyelets using my crocodile and a tiny circle punch, rather than use an eyelet, because I wanted to keep it all white, as you can tell. For this one was a little bit difficult, or a little bit different, I should say. First off, what I did was I stamped that little deer image, and you might have spotted that on here. So I stamped that in Hickory Smoke Distress ink on a piece of white cardstock, and then I covered it over with a piece of vellum, so that it was muted, so it was very, very soft, and not a harsh image. And then on another piece of vellum, which is rough torn, as you can see, I stamped this circle, and again off this stamp set here I stamped that circle, again using the same Versamark Stamp and Bond and Glamour Dust technique as I did on the other card to create the word joy. I then just punched out some little snowflakes for my corners here, and then because I just wanted it to pop a little bit, and because I knew that I was going to be adding this to it and it had a silver top, I just decided to use up these tiny little silver stars. These stars, they're white on the other side, but when I actually put them on the card or on the tag, the white wasn't right. Again, as I said, not all whites are equal. So I flipped them over and used the white iridescent side, which I think works in quite well. I had some lovely lace gifted to me a while back from Leanne, and perfect white for this card. So I used a bit at the bottom, used some tiny white half pearls here and there on the card. I think you can probably just pick them out, and in the centre of my snowflakes. Again, the same Avril twine for the top, and again this time, rather than using the clear faceted glass beads, I've used these ones. I'm not sure if you can pick them up, but they are like a frosted white. And then this is one of the tiny little dangles that I made using the BB Crafts baubles, and I've just filled it full of some of the Glamour Dust glitter to complete my tag. So I'm quite pleased with how they came out, but then I am a bit biased because, as I said, I do like white on white. So I was quite happy with those. The only thing I think I would do differently is originally I put my tiny little stars just around this area here and a few up here amongst the snowflake. I think what I would do if I made this tag again is I would actually bring my stars around the bottom there in more of a circle, and more on this side as well, so that they hug round the circle a bit more. They feel a bit kind of plonked on that corner and plonked on this corner for me, and I think it might have been nicer just to kind of take the eye up to the top, rather than having a definite line here. or a finish line here in terms of the decoration. But you live and learn, so I might try that one again and do that next time. So that was my white on white tags. Now I couldn't stop there. I've had a play and I decided I wanted to make this tag, and this was because I was looking through my chapter 1 Christmas folio that I got recently, and these gorgeous papers that are in the background here are gold, or shot with gold, and they were absolutely lovely, and they just screamed at me to do collage. Also, this was a tag that was in the Christmas folio, and I wanted to use that. So all I've done is I've torn with a ruler to make my tag narrower, and then I put a little gold star out of my stash on the top, and I just grounded my Christmas tree a little bit by putting those lines in there. I created a collage using those lovely papers for my backing card, and again I've just collaged on top of some of this iridescent white card, and then I stamped again using that Stamp and Bond and Glamour Dusk. I stamped the Merry Christmas on there with one of my Christmas stamps. They only ever come out once a year, don't they, girls? But that's what I did, and I've just used a little bit of glue on either side there at the bottom just to hold it in place, so it is slightly dimensional, as you can probably see there. And because I had some tiny little pieces left of these papers, I couldn't resist using them on the back to kind of finish off the tag a little bit, and I've put behind a piece of book text from A Christmas Carol that was also in the Christmas folio. The twine that you can see here was that gorgeous twine that was on that tag, and all I did was add a little piece of Avril twine, which was shot with a tiny hint of gold to pick up the colours here. So that is a really simple tag, but I absolutely love it. Those papers that came in that Christmas folio from chapter 1 were just amazing, and just adding their tag with a bit of stitching and 1 or 2 additional details onto this collage piece has just made that a pretty little tag to either go in a journal or on a Christmas present either. So there we go, girls. Thank you so much for letting me share those with you. I hope it's given you a little bit more inspiration. If you don't have the reason for me doing the white on white was because if you don't have Christmas papers, and I know as newbies we don't always have all the papers and feel that we must go out and get them, it just shows that you can actually, if you have white cardstock, that's, that is sufficient. You can do something like this if you marry it up with a little bit of lace and maybe punch out some snowflakes, something like that. So thank you so much, as always, for letting me share with you. My next video will be on this tag. Now, as you can see from the little label on there, I made this one in 2018. She's a little bit worse for wear certainly in terms of the ribbon, but I made this one, and again, it's something that I really enjoyed making at the time, and it's a little bit more of a mixed media technique to make this tag, but I really wanted to have a go, and I was going to do it white on white, but it just doesn't pop enough to do that. So what I thought I would do is I would try and do a quick tutorial on how I made this tag, and that will be my next video. So as I say, thanks so much everybody for letting me share, and have an amazing weekend. Bye bye now.